you doing? Well, it's Groundhog's Day again. Welcome to PHLY Flyers postgame presented by Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. Joining me here live in the Xfinity studio, it is Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. Charlie O'Connor will be on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line at some point or another. Like, when will the Flyers get another shot on goal? At some point or another.
Time is a flat circle.
How about that one, Hinks?
I can't believe they embarrassed us like that in front of Charles Entertainment Barkley. How could you?
I'll tell you, like, we could probably do a whole separate show on the broadcast tonight. But since the Flyers, like,
we're going to talk about the Flyers more than Steve Levy and Kevin Weeks.
Oh, well, sure, yeah. Since the Flyers, like, did what they did, we have to bash them before we bash ESPN.
Order of operations.
We have a whole lot of stuff to get to, like the Flyers scoring first, and that seeming to be a good omen, and then not showing up again for the rest of the game.
Until there was 3 minutes
But
left,
we have a couple of things I need to sell you first. We got a new Phillies show, and it starts tomorrow. Wow. That's right. Tomorrow begins our 3-day-a-week Phillies show. It's got Corey Seidman. You love Corey Seidman. It's got Jamie Lynch. It's got Anthony Gargano. This is going to be a ton of fun. We are relaunching our Phillies coverage starting tomorrow, just in time for opening day on Thursday. Follow it right here on the PHLY Sports YouTube page. If you're watching this, you already have access to it. It's very simple. Now, if you're not a diehard, you don't have access to this, so maybe think about becoming one. Fran Duffy holding a film session down at Next in Line Comedy. That is coming up April 8th, 6 to 8 p.m. Get your tickets at allphly.com. This is a diehard-only event. And guess what? You can get a chance for a meet and greet with Connor Barwin while Fran is breaking down his draft film. It is always a great time when Fran decides to let us in on how he grades prospects, how he breaks down the film, and you can go see him in person April 8th. Get your tickets, allphly.com. All that sounds far more interesting than most of the game the Flyers played tonight. So, Kelly, the Flyers score first. 24th time in now 70 games. So they are nearing, like doing it kind of regularly. They've scored first a couple of times lately, but it did feel like, man, that was a great first period. They're usually a slow starting team, and outside of Matthew Olivier getting a scoring chance in the first 8 seconds of the game, the Flyers started very strong. They get the first goal eventually, but they outshoot Columbus in the first period, 10-3. It just felt like, okay, they are playing more aggressively and more assertively than they typically do, especially early. This is a great sign. It's a must-win game against a team ahead of you in the standings, ahead of you in the division. And then that was that. They don't score again until the net is empty. Jamie Drysdale gets one late, but you see how it goes. Yes, they had 25 shots, 10 of them in the first period. They went a long time in the third without one, Kelly. So they had 5 shots on goal, the Flyers did, in the first 3 minutes of the third period. Like, all right, we're down 2-1, but we can get back in this thing. Let's do it. And then they didn't get another shot on goal until the goalie was pulled with 3 minutes left.
You know, it infuriates me when they do this, okay? Because, you're down 2-1 for a pretty long stretch there. Score effects are a real thing.
2.5 minutes into the second period, the score became
3-1. I'm sorry, I meant 2 goals.
Then they give up the third one. Yeah. But it's 2-1 the whole game. 3.5 minutes, or 2.5 minutes into the second period, Columbus is now up 2-1 after you finish the first period up 1-0.
Right. So the nerds tell us that when you're down goals, you play harder than the other team.
Yeah.
That's what happens
the other
because
team sags.
They sag, you're trying to score a goal, you play harder. The Flyers decide we're not going to put this process into effect until we pull the goalie with 3 minutes left. They did not have any sense of urgency through most of the second and almost the entirety of the third. I don't know what they thought they were going to do to win that game. I don't know if they thought it was just going to magically happen, if they were going to take a goal off the board for the Blue Jackets. I don't know what they thought was going to happen. But then they just decide with 3 minutes left, oh, wait, no, we're going to start doing a whole bunch of stuff and try to tie it up with seconds left. It's infuriating. Where was that for the middle 40?
They talked about this game on the broadcast like they kept saying it felt like a playoff game. Listen, it was a big game. And early on, it was clear neither team wanted to make a big mistake. They're feeling each other out. Maybe that part of it, it did not feel like it had playoff atmosphere. But it was, in fact, a big game. And then it just kind of all right, if that was a big game, where did that intensity and that urgency go? No. It was just annoying. It was annoying to see them just absolutely sag after they score one goal. If they didn't win this game 1-0, they weren't going to win this game. Right. That's really what it felt like after they give up the one. It's okay, and then Werenski gets one, 2-1. They said it at the start of the third before it was 3-1. Man, I know the Flyers are only down one, but it feels like more. Now, of course, it is because they needed to really win in regulation if they wanted to really make a dent. But it was just does this qualify as one of those? Hey, it's a big game. Everyone's tuning in. It is national. Now, it's a national broadcast. It's only on Hulu and ESPN Plus, but it's technically a national broadcast. It's on ESPN. Does this count as one of those? And then they let us down.
I mean, a little bit. I think it kind of depends on, and I know that, social media isn't everything, but, it'll be interesting to log on later or tomorrow and see how many people that I follow that aren't hardcore Flyers fans like us, kind of see what they're saying, if they're saying anything at all. I know that people were going to tune into this game. They probably did. And they're probably like, oh, yeah, this is why I stopped watching the Flyers 3 years ago.
And guess what? Thursday's opening day. So
that's
for you.
That.
You had one
done.
Day.
Yeah.
You had one day to capture the city's attention.
And you blew it.
And you decided to get,
as per usual,
no shots for 15 minutes at a time in the third period, trailing 2-1 and 3-1. Yeah. That's rough. And now you look, a lot of ground to make up. They still have a game in hand on the Isles. They still have, I believe, a game or two in hand on whoever the second wild card or the first wild card team is. I think it's Boston.
Yeah.
There's a world where they can still do it, but they said on the broadcast, 11% chance of the playoffs, and then, if this inevitably is a regulation loss, which it was shaping up to be at the time, it's down back to 5, which it was a couple weeks ago, and it's just, it was always going to be difficult because we keep bringing up January.
Yep.
But games like this where you don't even get a point, where you don't really threaten it all for the final 2/3 of the game, these are the ones that absolutely kill you. And that brings us to tonight's game changer, driven by Elkin Chevrolet. Elkin Chevy, together, let's drive. No one qualifies, no individual player qualifies for game changer tonight.
Guess what? It's you, Bill.
No one did anything. I'll tell you what is maybe one of the more disappointing stats to come out of this one. It's 3-game winning streaks. They absolutely changed the way the Flyers play. They look really, really good. Then they get the 3 straight wins, and then the game changes.
Yeah,
Kelly,
I see what you did there.
Yeah. 3-game winning streaks. The Flyers' last 4-gamer was February 6th to the 12th, 2024. They had 4 straight regulation wins over Florida, Winnipeg, Seattle, and Arizona. Since then, they've won 3 straight 9 times. Most recently, those 3 road games there on the West Coast trip.
Yeah, great.
You sweep the trip. You beat the Ducks, great. You beat the Kings. You even finish off the Sharks in regulation, no less. Good for you.
4 whole goals.
4 in one game.
I know.
And then this. 3-2 regulation against the team that you needed to beat. It is unbelievable. They are now 0 for their last 9 after winning 3 straight. In that 4th game, 0-9. It is simply unbelievable. I feel like this is more difficult than just winning 4 in a row twice in this span.
And I hate these fan-driven narratives about oh, they don't have it, they don't want to win enough. That kind of stuff drives me nuts because they're professional athletes. They want to win every game, blah, 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 whatever.
They want to win. They just don't have any idea how.
The problem is that, you watch a game like this, you're coming off 3 good games against the Western Conference, which don't really matter. I mean, yes, you're getting points, but like in this race, not that important. You have the opportunity to gain ground, and your best players are invisible.
Yeah, that's
no one stepped up.
Tonight's game changer is the lack of game changers. Like, nobody freaking stepped up in this one. That is the best way to put it. Like, we'll talk about some individuals later. Owen Tippett had one of his, he wasn't bad tonight sort of games.
Yeah, he got some shots.
He got some shots. He did some things. We'll talk about him. We'll talk about some other guys with Charlie. But, like, I just didn't see anybody who was like, this is the most important game of the season. Nobody looked like that tonight.
Nope.
And that is, all right, to put a positive spin on it, if we are doing the rebuild this way so that they get these experiences, I guess you could say learning experience, it takes more to win a game like this after a road trip, coming home for your fourth in a row to get yourself back in the race. It takes more than beating the Sharks on a Saturday afternoon in a game that really didn't matter. Like, okay, we know now what not to do. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm trying here. This was just such a disappointing effort after, like, a good start. All of it is just so disappointing to me.
Yeah.
And that is tonight's game changer, driven by Elkin Chevrolet.
You're real good.
It's unbelievable that they're able to play with some urgency and intensity on the road.
Yeah.
And come home, you can really get yourself back in it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing for large portions of this game. Great start. And then what? Then it didn't matter. 2.5 minutes into the second, you gave it all back. 20 minutes of work given back, and then they never really recovered from that. On the other side, we're going to talk about the Flyers goaltending. We're going to talk about some of the no-shows on offense as well. Charlie will join us. We'll have the unsung hero. We'll check in on my pregame picks. All that coming up after these 2 minutes. Starting something new can be terrifying. Before the show ever existed, I remember thinking, what if nobody listens? What if this is a complete flop? But sometimes you just have to take the leap, and it definitely helps when you've got the right tools behind you, tools like Shopify. From major brands to people just launching their first idea, Shopify gives you everything you need to start and then grow. You can build a beautiful online store with hundreds of ready-to-use templates, and Shopify's built-in AI tools can help you write product description and page headlines and even improve product photos. Plus, you can run email and social campaigns, manage inventory, handle shipping and returns, and track analytics all in one place. And when you need help, their 24/7 customer support has your back. It's time to turn those what-ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/allcity. Go to shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity. You know, tax season is funny because it's one of the only times all year people actually look at their full financial picture. You see what you made, what you spent, what you saved, and sometimes you're left thinking, wait, where did all that go? Well, now you can simplify your finances with Monarch. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It helps you see exactly where your money's going and where something like a tax refund can actually make the biggest impact, whether that's paying down some debt or building up your savings. What I like is that Monarch actually helps you stay proactive. Their AI Insights tool highlights spending trends and patterns you might miss, and the weekly recap keeps you updated on things like spending spikes, changes in your net worth, and upcoming expenses. Achieve your financial goals for good with Monarch, the all-in-one tool that makes money management simple. Use code PHLY at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code PHLY. Welcome back. This is PHLY Flyers postgame presented by Bet365, and it's time to talk a little Dan Vladar, Kelly Hinkle. Dan Vladar was, I thought, tonight.
Yeah.
16 of 19, gives up 3 goals for an .842 save percentage. Didn't face a ton of work. The goals he gives up, the first goal, kind of meh. Just, it looked like he kind of missed it. I wasn't sure. The second one, I don't know. Werenski walks right down the middle and beats him. Like, Werenski, they're talking, the entire game was basically the entire broadcast was basically a paid advertisement for Werenski for Norris, and it's a grade A chance.
That's the one, though, that I feel like that's the one that he had like a clear sight line on, that I feel like there have been games where he's made that save.
Yeah.
And it would have been nice in this one if he had been able to do it.
Third goal, the ref didn't see it, so play carries on for a while. It's an in and out off the back bar. He gets beat short side high. The thing that bothered me about it is, like, it wasn't a cross ice or anything, so the puck's below the goal line, but it comes out on the side that it went in on, so you're never not over there, and it just beats him inside the helmet for the goal. Like,
he was screened pretty good, though, I think.
Yeah, that was I think Hathaway or York, like a drive-by screen.
Right in front of him, yeah.
I don't think he was nearly as bad as like the 842 or whatever the hell he put up, because he made some big saves.
Better than his numbers.
Yeah, certainly. We'll give him the Sam Harrison treatment of better than his numbers. But I thought he was just kind of like much of the team in front of him tonight. Yeah. Like, I don't know if anyone individually sucked. I know a lot of people had an issue with Noah Juleson, but who doesn't ever? Like,
I mean, what do you expect
Everyone's
from him?
always got a problem with Noah Juleson. He's not very good.
Yeah.
Like, they were just kind of and tonight, Dan Vladar was just not his best game, not his worst, just okay and not great. Like, he was just kind of there, like many of the Flyers.
Right. Wouldn't say he lost them the game, but obviously didn't win it for him either.
Yeah, they just had a hard time tracking some of these plays, like the defense as a whole. And
there were some real sloppy defensive plays.
Yeah, he also made 2 breakaway saves. There's that big glove he made with the like point blank right in front of him. Mm-hmm. It's, again, not like he was bad. He made some huge saves tonight, but he's given them an opportunity to win so much. And like a game in which he gives up 3 goals isn't, it's not 8, but you're sitting there going, not exactly what we needed from the guy who we are tabbing as the number 1. But when absolutely no one stands out, it's hard for me to... They even said it on the broadcast. Some people in town believe Vladar to be the MVP of this team. I am some people. Yeah, I very much believe, unless he goes into the tank these final 12 games... Even still. He should get the Bobby Clark trophy at the last home game when they do the team awards.
Easily.
I guess if Owen Tippett has 12 goals in the next 12 games and leads them to the playoffs, maybe... No. But it's been Vladar for most of this year, so I'm not going to kill him for what happened tonight. But also, I don't think he was good.
No. It certainly wasn't a grade A Dan Vladar performance. It was... I think this is one of those things where, obviously, you don't know what's going to happen if things are different. But, if the Flyers actually score more than 1 goal prior to the 58-minute mark of this game... Maybe things look a little differently for Dan Vladar. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he can see, oh, no, the boys don't have it. It's all on me tonight. Or maybe he just didn't have it tonight. And if your goalie that's been carrying you all season doesn't have it, maybe score a goal.
He's not going to be your best player every time he dresses.
No, he can't be.
It's no goalie in the Connor Hellebuck, Igor Shesterkin, whoever.
Dominic Hasek.
They're not their team's
they don't
best
win every
player
game. No.
every single night. And so I guess it's, and that's why I don't want to rip Vladar too bad. No, I don't think he played a great game, but name me the guy who did for the Flyers tonight. I can't think of anyone, but...
Sean Couturier had a real good shift.
You know what? Sean Couturier was one of the Flyers' best players. I talked about the third period lack of shooting. So with 17:06 left, Sean Couturier gets a shot on goal. And then I think it's with 3:03 left, he gets the Flyers' next one. Yeah. Sean Couturier, the guy who can barely get up and down the ice. I'm going to ask Charlie later if tonight was because he's, been out the last 2 games. I'm going to ask Charlie later if this is a great reason to load manage him.
100%, William.
That's
absolutely picture perfect reason. And why this is a good idea.
He is Sean Couturier, tonight's unsung hero, presented by Togo. Togo, the leader in operations outsourcing. Let Togo handle the work that gets in the way of your work. You call the plays, we execute. Togo. So it is Sean Couturier. And listen, he's a +1 in a game they lose 3-1. 3 shots on goal, 2 of them in the third period, and there was like 14 minutes in between where no one else got one. Scores their one like non-garbage time goal, basically. Does his job in the face-off circle. I think the thing that impressed me most about Coots was the shift on which he scores.
Yes.
He has that really nice hit on the wall about 15 seconds before the goal. I think it was on Mason Marchment. And then gets his ass to the net. Puck comes back after the little scrum and the hit. Puck comes back to Risto. He gets it on net. And Hathaway, I think, keeps it alive. Or no, Glendening keeps it alive. Kind of pokes it through the crease behind Jet Greaves. And he's there to slam it home. Just the fact that he got from the wall to the front and then finished on the play. Listen, 3 goals in his last 10. He had no goals in his previous 31. So he did go through that really, really tough slump. And one of the few guys to me who really stood out tonight was Sean Couturier, because he had that shift. He had a few other shots on goal. Christian Dvorak has to serve a fighting major. We'll talk about that embellishment call with Charlie, which was absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
But so he's Coots finds his way up in the lineup for a little bit of this game. I thought he was one of the few guys who did anything at all. I mean, he's again the only goal scorer with when both goalies were in the net.
Right.
He was pretty good tonight.
Yeah, the shift that led to that goal was like vintage Sean Couturier. It was beautiful to watch, and it kind of I think proves the point that if we are stuck with him, that is what it is. Unless you have some very uncomfortable conversation where you're like, listen, we're never going to play you. Would you like us to trade you somewhere? That's really the only way it's going to happen. And you're going to have to retain salary. It's going to be a whole thing.
Would you like to just go home and collect LTIR money?
Right. You can manufacture a pretty effective fourth line version of Sean Couturier if you manage him properly. And I think we saw it tonight. He gets a couple of nights off, and he comes back, and he looks good. Rotate him in with somebody from the Phantoms or something. It's the fourth line center. It's not that serious.
No, and that's if he's going to remain your captain and you want to keep him effective, I don't know how you sell it to an NHL player. And whenever this topic comes up, when it comes up on 32 Thoughts, Elliot's always like, well, we don't want this turning into the NBA. And nobody is he should just take a month off because he wants to go on vacation in the middle of the work season.
Maybe there's some lessons we could take from the NBA though.
No one thinks that
and ratings
should be the case, but I don't know. In the 3 when they play 3 and 4, which is every weekend basically.
Right.
Every Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday
with travel.
Maybe he doesn't need to play the middle game and things like that. It's just to try to preserve him because he is under contract forever. He is wildly overpaid.
Yeah.
And if you're going to have him playing 75 games a year, guess what else he's going to be? Ineffective for most of them.
Exactly.
What if it's 65 and he's good in 2/3 of them?
And the only reason it doesn't happen is because you have hockey men like Elliot Friedman acting like it's a bad thing to do. It's actually not. These guys are assets. You need to manage your assets properly and get the most out of them. And the way that you're going to do that is not trying to play Sean Couturier for 15 minutes a night, 82 games a season. It's not going to work.
It's just not going to work.
So you can either sit him when he gets hurt, or you can sit him periodically and let him be an effective player for most of the season.
Maybe the fourth line demotion is kind of a way to limit his minutes without limiting his number of games played.
Still, though.
And I just, I guess it's a thought.
I mean, the problem is that, when you have a coach that really likes playing the fourth line, you're not really going to do that too much.
That's the other thing. They started tonight's game. And
fourth line.
That was going to be one of my takes tonight was all right, so in this game we need to win, and we scored 1 goal against them 10 days ago. Man, this really sets a tone. And then on the first shift, Olivier has a scoring chance the first 8 seconds or so. But then they score the only goal.
Course,
it's really hard for me to rip Rick Tocchet for this one.
Nice.
But it was this line consisting of, I don't know. Sean Couturier, who has a 31 game goal drought this season. You had Garnet Hathaway, who has 1 goal for the whole year. Luke Glendening, who has 1 goal going back to March of last year. He had a 75 or so game goal drought.
Yeah.
maybe that's not the way to start.
Let's not
but then, of
pretend
course, they score the only goal tonight.
But let's not pretend that was Rick Tocchet like galaxy braining his way into scoring. No, he got lucky.
He wanted to win this game 1-0.
Exactly.
That was their path to winning this game. And when that became impossible when they scored 2.
We tried to
I don't know what the hell
anymore.
happened.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
When the announcers were like, it feels like they're down more than 1, I was like, yeah, it does. It certainly does. Because they just can't create offense on a consistent enough level. Yeah, they need better players, but I don't know.
They have good enough players. We saw
to score more than 1, absolutely.
Listen, by the end of the road with John Tortorella, I was over it too. But we saw with him that there is enough talent, and we have more now than he had. There's enough talent offensively that they should be able to score more than 1 goal in a game.
All right, on the other side, we're going to talk to Charlie O'Connor on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. Just stick with us through these ads. Whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. You got to check out brand new games like Huff N' More Puff and Fireblaze Sky Queen, which is a BetParx exclusive. You can play blackjack, you can play roulette, you can play craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption and 88 Fortunes. Play all your favorite classic casino games from wherever you are, and new users right now get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Play hot online slots based on your favorite streaming shows like The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad. All your favorite classic casino games from wherever you are. It's the only app I ever use to play all my favorite casino games right in the palm of my hand. Go to betparx.com and download the app right now to enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Remember, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Not only does Rita's have great water ice, but now they have a super mystery for you to figure out as well. That's right. For a limited time, you can get Peeps flavored Italian ice, and it comes with a tasty secret. Peeps Ice is springtime sweet and deliciously mysterious. Stop by and try it at your local Rita's and try to guess the mystery flavor on Rita's website, and you can win Rita's for a full year. Just go to ritasIce.com/peeps, and if you guess the right flavor, you'll have a chance to win water ice for the entire year. But you better hurry and get to Rita's to solve this mystery flavor before it's gone. And don't forget to download the Rita's app. New app users will get a free small gelati, ice, or custard with their first purchase. Come on in, go to Rita's, and make this season the sweetest one yet with ice, custard, and happiness. Treat yourself to a scoop of happiness today. Be cool, go to Rita's. And just like that, say his name and he appears.
He's like
I believe in Charlie O'Connor. All right, Chuck, the hell happened tonight?
Yeah, it's funny. I kind of want to lead this off by saying that I'm actually, I don't want to use the word relieved, but it's nice to know in a way that, and I guess I'm entirely going off of social media here because obviously right after game I can't interact with fans in person, but it's nice to know that fans can still get this mad about a Flyers game because it shows that people still care. It shows that the apathy isn't there, that people truly are this angry about a game like this when the team going into this game had probably less than a 20% chance of making the playoffs. And honestly, it's kind of impressive. And you know what? Like, pat yourselves on the back that you still care this much about this team that hasn't made the playoffs since 2020. Like, and that is not condescending at all. Like, I'm impressed at how angry people are about this game. So that's kicking that off. This is a game that honestly, from my perspective, like it could have went either way. And I know they were down 3-1, but they outshot them. They outchanced them. The goalie who's been the MVP all year probably could have stopped 1 or 2 more. They needed to finish on a few more chances. But this is the kind of game where, if you play it 100 times, it maybe is like 41-49. What we know about the Flyers is that, number one, they're relying a lot on Dan Vladar. They're relying on him to play really well. He was meh in this game. I thought he really should have stopped the first goal, the Olivier shot.
Yeah.
The third one, okay, he's screened by York. Maybe if he's in a slightly better position, it doesn't matter. But that first goal, I mean, that's where the game turns. Now, not absolving the team. for 5-6 minutes at the start of that second period. They were not ready, and they got taken advantage of. But I thought the rest of the game, they played fine. They played well enough to win. And in the end, like, they just didn't finish on their chances, and Columbus did. To me, it's a frustrating game because it was such a big game. And now they've lost twice to the same team in a few weeks, a team they're chasing. But I didn't look at this as like an embarrassing game. I don't think it was an embarrassing performance. I thought they played well enough to win. They just didn't. And unfortunately, in January, they put themselves into a position where they had to win this game, and they can't really afford to lose these coin flip 50-50 games where you played pretty well, but not overwhelmingly so, and it could have went either way. I thought, to me, that was the story of the game.
I wouldn't say they embarrassed themselves. That's not the word for it. They were, like you said, fine. I just think in situations like this, 3 wins in a row, coming home, up against a team that you can make a dent in their lead to get into the playoffs, fine is bad. Fine is nowhere near good enough.
50-50
and they started well. They started well. That first period, outside of the first 15 seconds, they were really good in the first period. They score the goal. They get out with the lead. They outshoot them 10-3. They're out chancing them. A lot of game played in the Columbus zone. And after that, who stepped up? Like, you tell me. We don't need to do 3 stars right now, but, like, who was the guy out there that was like, I need to be better in order for us to get to the playoffs? Did you see anyone who played that way tonight?
Well, I think that was what they were missing. And I actually, like, I'm not going to say any individual players, but what I posted on social media and what I'll say here is that, the story of this game for me from an offensive perspective is that the guys the Flyers need to finish on their chances didn't finish on their chances, and they don't have a lot of those guys. They need more of them. They need more. Like, Noah Cates had a couple golden opportunities and he didn't finish on them. That said, Noah Cates is not the kind of guy that I need to step up in this game. Like, would it have been nice if he popped in that penalty shot and then he was scored on that power play? Sure. But in an ideal world, Noah Cates is, getting the 9th, 10th, 11th most minutes on the team in a given game, especially in a game like this. They need more guys who can finish at an elite level, at a high-end level. What do they have? They have Konechny, they have Tippett, they have Zegras, they have Michkov sometimes. Obviously, he's going through a weird year, but he certainly has high-end ability. None of those guys played well enough. I don't think they were awful, but the Flyers rely upon them to finish on their chances in a way that they don't rely upon. I know Noah Cates has led the team in points since the break, but, like, I'm not going to kill Noah Cates for not stepping up and finishing on his chance in this game, aside from just being like, man, it would have been nice if he did. Like, I want to see those guys, the guys I mentioned, be the ones that are stepping up and finishing on their chances, because they're the guys that this team looks to. They don't have enough of them. So the guys they do have need to finish, and they didn't in this game, and then that's a bummer.
Charlie, what was the Flyers' best line tonight? What group of forwards did you think played the best tonight?
Well, let's take a look at the old advanced metrics, William.
We want
and then I will give you an answer.
Charles.
I mean,
they're
by
different from when I wrote this question, I'll tell you that.
Okay, well, by the eye test, I mean, I liked a lot of the shifts that the Couturier Glendening line had.
That's the correct answer.
It does appear that the Barkey Zegras Tippett line had the highest expected goals for percentage. But yeah, I thought the Couturier Glendening Hathaway line had some really good shifts. Obviously, Couturier gets a really nice goal in the first period. Yeah, I thought they had a solid game.
Do you think this game was evidence? I'm not going to read it the way I wrote it because it's funny. Should they load manage Sean Couturier? He scores tonight. I think he played one of his better games. He played pretty well in that game he got hurt in, but then he missed 2. Maybe that line just has something with Hathaway and Glendening, but I thought that line was good tonight. I thought Coots stood out. He had 3 shots on goal. He scores their only non-garbage time goal. Do you think maybe after missing a couple games and coming out and having jump, this is evidence, hey, 3 and 4, maybe that middle game he doesn't need to play?
Well, we've talked about that, though. We've talked about how that probably is the right way to handle Sean Couturier at this stage of his career. We've also talked about it that hockey teams, NHL teams are not going to do that, particularly for their captain. I don't disagree with you, Bill. I think Sean Couturier probably would be better if they instituted a little bit of a load management plan for him. He would probably have his legs in more games. He would probably look more effective in the games he plays. Maybe he could produce more offense in the games he plays. I just don't see a world where the Flyers or any NHL team does that, particularly to their captain.
I know. It's just like, well, then you're hurting yourself.
I know. It's just the way it's framed is so stupid. Why are they doing that to their captain? No, we're helping you be better, bud. Why can't anyone just have like an adult conversation about this with a hockey player? I don't understand.
Like, you're not very good anymore.
I'm just telling you, it's not hockey.
I know it's not going to happen, Charlie. I'm not saying it's not your fault. I'm arguing with the wall. I just don't understand why. It's so stupid.
This is neither here nor there at this point, Charlie, but the Flyers did so little tonight. There's little things I want to ask. Why was Matvei Michkov called for embellishment?
Yeah.
What did he embellish?
Yeah, I didn't get that in the moment either. The only thing I can think of, actually, there are two possible explanations here. Possible explanation number one is Matvei Michkov is already generating a not great reputation among officials, and he is getting to the point where he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, because there have been some times where he's a yapper. He gets involved in scrums. You know, there was that time in the game on the road trip where he instigates a punch and then skates away. You know, you wonder if maybe those sorts of plays might be hurting him in the eyes of certain officials. The other reason, I think this is probably the more likely reason, they wanted to find a way to even up the penalty.
Game management is why he was called. They made something up to not give the Flyers a power play. Yep. Again, Charlie is correct in his analysis.
Yeah, but that's what I think happened. I think it was just that was like, okay, well, if we're going to call this cross check, we don't want the Flyers to get a power play off of it. So I guess we got to give Michkov something. And since he didn't really engage, the only thing we can do is give him an embellishment.
I want to ask about the atmosphere on the broadcast early on. They said this feels like a playoff game. I don't know if that really came through on TV, but it's on Hulu. It's on ESPN+. It's not always the best gauge. You're in the building. How did it feel there?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't to me. It didn't feel the most ruckus. The first period, there were some pops because the team was playing well and they were creating chances. They just didn't score enough. I mean, that's and Rick Tocchet even said that after the game. He said, you know, we should have been up 3-0 after the first period. And that goes back to my point, which is it's finishing. Like could the Flyers have a coach who coached a more freewheeling style? Absolutely. You know, could the Flyers have dressed a lineup that's a little bit more conducive to offense? Sure. But again, we're talking about like swapping in Emil Andre for Noah Juleson. We're talking about swapping in Nikita Gorbenkin for Colin Grunstrom. Chances are that probably wasn't dramatically changing the outcome of the game. We've been having this debate since 2015, 2016 with Dave Haxtell. Like, fourth liners and third pair defensemen are easy things for people to yell about. They're probably not dramatically impacting the game. But the point I'm getting at is, yes, the Flyers could maybe have more of a philosophical bend towards creating more offense. However, I think they created enough chances in this game to score 3 or 4 goals. They just didn't finish. And that's a major problem. I mean, the power play, we've talked about this off air a bunch of times. They're creating more chances this year. It's not as bad visually as it was last year, and it's not as bad statistically as it was last year if you look at scoring chances and expected goals. The problem is they just don't finish on their friggin' chances now, and you saw it again tonight, and they don't finish on enough of their chances at even strength, even though they're actually kind of like middle of the road in terms of a 5-on-5 shooting percentage. Given the quality of chances they do create, they could be a lot better, and tonight it bit them.
Yeah, as much as I want to blame the coach and the style for everything and everything sometimes, 2 breakaways in the first period, including the penalty shot, nothing. The gift power play, and I will say I think the Olivier interference was also a gift power play, and maybe that leads to the nonsense embellishment call, because they're like, oh, we kind of got that one wrong, and they don't score on that one with Cates on the doorstep. Like, that's just simply, hey, man, you need to take advantage of your opportunities. All right, last one before stars, Kelly.
Okay, I just had a really important one. How many hot dogs did you eat tonight?
I ate 0 hot dogs.
Charlie,
I'm on a diet. Okay, I'm trying to watch my weight.
Take the
and
bun
also,
off.
take the bun off.
And also, I ate I ate great food, but I ate really crappy food this weekend.
God bless Charles.
All right. It is time for Charlie O'Connor's 3 stars of the game, and this is hilarious. Let's see who he has to choose. Chuck, who was star number 3?
Yeah, this is when it just gets tough because there
Yeah.
really weren't that many. I think third star, I'm going to go with Nick Seeler because he had the best expected goals for percentage on the team at 5-on-5, around 90%. He was on the ice for one Flyers goal, no Flyers goals against. So sure, Nick Seeler had a Nick Seeler game, and this is the kind of game like my issue with the Flyers play in this game was their top end guys and their finishing ability. That's not what we look for Nick Seeler for. Nick Seeler had a perfectly fine, quiet, good Nick Seeler game. And in a game like this, I'm giving him third star because sure, solid all around performance by Nick Seeler, who did his job in a depth role.
Who is star number 2?
Yeah, star number 2, I'm going with Jamie Drysdale. I mean, it's easy to forget this because everybody comes away from the game really, really angry because they lost. But like, they could have tied this game. They cut it to 3-2. They have the puck in the offensive zone the entire final minute or so of the game. Basically, they created some chances. Like there's an alternate universe where we're talking about a dramatic overtime win, and everybody has to turn on a dime as to how they feel about this game. And the only reason why they have that opportunity is because Jamie Drysdale scores another goal. And good job for Jamie Drysdale. So he gets second star as a result.
He's great late in games with the net empty at the other end. It's pretty clear that's a specialty of his. I will say, though, it would have been nice if anyone could have got a shot in like the middle 14 minutes of the period in which they had none. All right, who is tonight's first star?
Yeah, Sean Couturier. I mean, great game in the first, especially in the first period, has that great shift. He has the big hit right before the goal. Like what he did on that shift, and I don't know if he's capable of doing this, number one, physically every night, but number two, just in terms of a full-fledged mentality shift. Like that's the kind of shift that he's going to have if he wants to play another 3-4 years in this league as a bottom six center. Like that's the kind of game he's going to have to play. Look, he's never going to be, a Garnet Hathaway level hitter or anything, but he's going to have to muck it up a little bit. He's going to have to play physical and use his size and then just go to the net. Like he doesn't seem like he has the same puck handling and hands that he had when he was scoring 70 plus points a year. So if he's going to score, he's going to have to do it like that. He's just going to have to go to the dirty areas and get a bounce and get it by working real hard. And on that shift, he did. And I thought overall in this game, that whole line was pretty darn good. So it's funny. I was thinking about this on the way down that, that line did have a really good game the last game before guys got hurt, before Couturier and Glendening got hurt. Glendening was really good in that game. I think it was the game against Anaheim, right?
Anaheim, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that line
shots
is
on goal. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that line is starting to get something going. So yeah, I think Sean Couturier, like number one, he legitimately did have a good game, but number two, it's funny that I'm saying this because I remember not that long ago, like Sean Couturier was one of the guys where I'm saying like, well, your big guys got to come through in games like this. Unfortunately, he's not one of their big guys anymore. He's not that caliber of player anymore. But the fact that Sean Couturier is the first star, this version of Sean Couturier is first star, that speaks to the Flyers' biggest issue in this game, which is their top of the lineup guys, the guys you look to, they're the guys who didn't come up big in this game. If Sean Couturier circa 2026 is your first star, you're probably not winning that game, especially when it's against a team that is also battling for a playoff spot. Maybe Sean Couturier can lead you to a win against Chicago in 2 nights, but Columbus is playing real well. They believe right now, and if you were going to beat a team like Columbus that believes that's battling for a playoff spot, if you're going to beat a team like that, you need Travis Konechny, you need Owen Tippett, you need Matvei Michkov, you need Trevor Zegras, you need those guys to come through bigger, and they just didn't tonight.
All right, that is Charlie O'Connor on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line down at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Chuck, we will talk tomorrow, my friend.
All right, see you guys.
All right, with that, we still have some time left in the show. We got to go over the pregame picks. How'd they go? Not great, I'll tell you that. We got to get to a few more things and all your super chats. But first, we got to take our final break. Have you ever had one of those days where you're moving nonstop and suddenly you realize you forgot to eat? Happens to me all the time, and that's why I love what Wawa is doing right now, because Wawa has $5 deals all day, and honestly, it just makes life easier. If you're starting early, you can grab the $5 big breakfast meal deal. We're talking a breakfast sandwich, a hash brown, at any size hot or iced coffee. That's a full morning win for $5, available from 5 to 11 a.m. Then later in the day, the value keeps rolling with a crispy chicken sandwich created your way, starting at just $5. And they've even got new teriyaki recipes for a limited time. It's real food, real value, and built for busy days. No planning, no overthinking. Just swing in, grab what you need, and keep it moving. Start your day strong and fuel up whenever you need with Wawa's $5 deals. Limited time, exclusions apply. See Wawa.com for details. Gotta have a Wawa. Do we really want Matvei Michkov playing goalie? No, it's not worth the risk, the time, or the money. It doesn't make sense. You want to keep your stars focused on what they do best, and the same applies to your business. For small and mid-sized businesses competing with bigger companies, it isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. With competition heating up, you can't afford to fall behind. AI goes way beyond ChatGPT, and it gets overwhelming fast. That's why having a trusted guide like Togo matters. Togo streamlines your operations by handling customer service, accounting, order management, logistics, admin, data entry, and even complex multi-step processes without the cost of building it all in-house. And every engagement with Togo starts with free process mapping, and Togo doesn't bill a dime until the real work begins. Programs start as low as $1,000 a month and are built to scale without breaking the bank. Visit harnesstogo.com and mention PHLY for a free operational assessment. All right, welcome back. Just a couple more things to hit before your super chats. One, Kelly, I just looked this up because it's funny. Since the last day of February 28th through today, Flyers leaders in goals. Owen Tippett, 5 goals and 6 points in 12 games. Noah Cates, 4 goals, 10 points in 12 games. Sean Couturier, 3 goals in 10 games. Travis Konecny, 3 goals in 9 games. Jamie Drysdale, 3 goals in 12 games. He is third on the team in goal scoring. This is a guy who just went through a 31-game goal drought.
I love
and
this for him.
Since the end of February, he is third on the team in goal scoring. All right, it is now time for the Bet365 pregame picks tracker. Let's see how our pregame picks did in our Bet365 pick tracker. Let's check it out. Tonight we had the Owen Tippett anytime goal, and we had the Tippett over half a point. We got neither.
Well,
didn't exactly go our way tonight. The Flyers' goals are Coots from Glendenning and Risto, and Drysdale from Zegras and Dvorak. So we get neither of those. So in the first official game of the pick tracker era, we go 0 for 2. So that's great.
tried real hard.
Bet365, where winning is everything. Download the app and use code PHLY365 at sign up today. All right, that's it. Let's get to the super chats. There's a whole bunch of them. While we're doing the super chats, I see we're at 94 likes. That's so close to 100. Get us to like 150 while we do these 20 super chats. From JH. JH is gifting. I saw he gifted some of those Supporters Club PHLY sports memberships. Make sure you check those out. There's exclusive content for Supporters Club members. We do behind the scenes stuff, different funny things, different breakdowns, different mixing and matching of the shows. So make sure you check that out. And very generous of JH.
They should hang a picture of JH on the wall here.
To share with the people in the chat. What was that?
They should put a picture of JH like on the shelf.
We should have like a super chat hall of fame. That would be very
fun.
That would be very funny.
Jamie, write it down.
Yeah, if we did that after the season, like let's see, like there's got to be someone tabulating.
Someone's got
like
it.
Each top super chat contributor, right?
I can do it. I can do it by memory.
Money spent, like
it's JH. It's the
David and Adam Shub
twins, and Phantom's Legend Richard Park.
Yeah, our Park. Yeah. I see he's got a couple coming up.
There you go.
All right, speaking of, our Park is up next. Andre doesn't play. Flyers lose. Free group. Now, that's the other thing I wanted to look up.
You can't argue with science.
Let me just real quick see if I can find Emil Andre's game log this season and his record when he plays.
I bet it's good.
28 and 22, but that does not account for the overtime wins and losses. So they're even better than that. And that's 6 games over real 500. That's not even accounting for hockey 500.
No.
Pretty good.
There's just not a world in which Noah Juleson gives you a better chance to win.
That was my thing when Charlie started going, we can argue about fourth liners.
Sure can.
Third pair guys. They don't really matter. And that was my cue to not ask Charlie, how did Noah Juleson help him score a goal tonight?
Charlie was not interested in talking about that tonight.
I guess he got interfered with by Matthew Olivier, I guess.
How many turnovers did he have?
Bumped into each other, and then he went flying. And
yeah.
I suppose, but yeah.
Whatever.
Andre should be playing.
Yes.
So should Grbankin.
Yes.
R Park, again, should have kept D'Lo. Sure.
No, they had to.
He had a great winning percentage at one point, too.
Well.
I don't know. I wonder.
I just like that we took away his toy. They did the money ball on Delorier for Rick Tocchet, and then we just get him replaced.
He has gotten into one game, and it looks like he has a 5-minute. He does have a 5-minute fighting major. He played 12 and a half minutes in one game for Carolina on St. Patty's Day.
I do have to say, it's very interesting to me that Dr. Eric Tulsky, arguably one of the smartest dudes in the sport of hockey, was going after D'Lo the same time we were, and we got him.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he was available, was like, need that.
Rod Brendamore,
what does he know?
Apparently Brendamore really wanted him the first time around, and he was like, here, have him.
All right, maybe it's just that.
He's a great locker room guy. Everyone likes Nick Delorier.
Sure.
He's a fighter. It is funny. I thought you were going to say, it was reported that Tulsky got into it with Bettman at the GM's meetings.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you're like, I guess we're weak on headshots now? And then you went and got a guy whose job is literally punching dudes in the head.
That'll show you.
That's funny.
That is funny.
All right, but thank you, R. Park. Next one here. Park again. I miss Torts.
Same.
I miss him for games like this because he might have ripped everybody. Or if he wouldn't come out and be like, everyone's hurt, they're tired, blah, blah, blah. But if he was softer on them and after a game like this, you would know, like, oh, yeah, Travis Konechny has like a sports hernia or something, you know? You would find that out through him not killing them.
It's just...
Or he'd flip out and that would be funny.
Every now and again, Torts would just like send it. Full send. Rick Tocchet never, he's never going to send it. He's just going to...
I wonder.
Little dribbles.
I wonder if there's something that's just going to like, if he's going to lose it. Like, he's beaten a lot of people up in his life.
Well,
you would think like something would just make him absolutely.
Maybe.
I mean, it's only year one. We're not even through year one. He's got 12 games left this year.
It's a long year.
Next one is, do you miss Torts? Before this nice question.
If we had hired somebody else, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
But today, yes.
All right.
Okay.
This one is from I'm sorry.
Tobadiah Stain?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I'm just illiterate. This is my problem. Shouldn't have scratched Andre. Once again, I just don't see how, like, you scored one goal against them last time. You scored one up until you get the Drysdale goal with the empty net this time. Perhaps dress the lineup that helps you score a goal.
Right.
And not, oh man, well, we gave up 2 and it's over. Not that Juleson or Andre really matter, but like victories on the margins here.
Exactly.
Value on the margins.
Yes.
All right, next one is from JH again. Why shouldn't we crowdfund a couple Etsy witches?
Who's to say I'm not an Etsy witch? You could crowdfund.
I've been seeing something about witches lately. Why are people talking about witches so much?
Are they talking about witches again?
I don't know. I've just seen a bunch of things about witches, like on Twitter today.
Are
things going on with witches?
I don't go there.
Like, witches have cursed the Flyers. They couldn't help the Flyers. I think I saw it in the chat. Or witch is just not a thing that's going on in popular culture right now, and I'm just making this up.
Did witches ever go away?
I just feel like I've been hearing...
If you're cursed by a witch,
I've been hearing... I don't know, we're a demon? I don't know how curses work.
Hard to say.
I feel like I've seen a bunch about witches today, and I don't really know why. I thought there was like an explanation for it.
I don't know
Do you know anything about witches, Brenna? All right. Turbo Flyers. Drysdale keeps doing that, and I kind of like it. I like that he connected on the 1T tonight.
Oh, scoring?
Yeah, it's
nice
cool seeing him score goals. That was his 8th of the season, and that's definitely a career high.
Gotta be.
Let's see. Dry guy. Yeah, Jamie Drysdale. 8. Yes, last year he put in 7. That was the career high. He's up to 28 points on the season in just 67 games.
Who says Rick Tocchet can't develop talent?
It's coming along. The offensive side of the game is coming along for Jamie Drysdale. hoping that this becomes much more regular and not just a hot streak. But he's been good. He's been good putting up numbers.
Any day
lately.
now for Cam York.
All right. Next one here is Obi-Wan, and it's just a frowning face. It's
Agreed.
just the what's that? The greater than sign? I don't know which is which. Greater than colon and open parenthesis.
Sad face.
Yeah, sad face there from Obi-Wan. I agree. All right, Obi Trice this time. The coach, not the players, was nervous. That was one of the worst coach games I can remember. No shortened bench, no in-game adjustments, just wow.
He doesn't seem to do a lot of in-game adjusting, I find.
No, the deployment kind of stays the same. There's a little mix-up of the lines tonight. I think he took bump out at one point and was messing around with that. But a lot of times, Charlie always is like, we talk about line combinations so much, and they get put in a blender every game. I think the power play does.
Yeah.
I think Tortorella, man, the line combinations did not matter because if they had two bad shifts,
that was it.
Everything got torn up and rearranged. But there's a lot of times you go to natural stat trick and check the Flyers forward lines, click plus, open, and there are 4 lines listed. And that's it. At 5-on-5, those are the groups. Also, it doesn't feel like he adjusts a ton. I couldn't believe he called a timeout tonight.
Well, we were talking in the Broad Street Hockey Slack, why not call a timeout after those 2 quick goals? You know what I mean? Calm everybody down.
It feels
he doesn't do that.
Me and Charlie have talked about this, maybe because we're just so positively predisposed to the Laviolette legendary timeouts, but it's not like it only worked once. There was one that worked huge.
And also, it's not like he's the only one that does that.
Yeah, but it
Coaches
does
do
feel
that all the
like,
time.
I wonder, hey, how come they don't hear? And there've been a couple opportunities lately where I'm like, stop this.
Yeah.
And he'll do it too late, or it's he's always saving it for well, what if we need it? I'm like, we're not going to get to that point if we don't stop this right now. Yes. And he is kind of conservative with the the use of the timeouts. All right, next one is Local Drunk 69. Nice. It's playoffs or layoffs next year. All we heard was you need to be competitive in a rebuild to build a culture. Is this pissing all over yourself a culture?
It's a kind of culture.
I would say.
Also, no one's getting fired.
To be fair to this group, they're not that good. And this is the beginning of getting somewhere. They are competitive. They only play 1-goal games. They are alive on March 24th, sort of. The Rangers were eliminated. It's not as if they've actually been eliminated. They are technically alive at 4 or 5%, whatever. Yeah. It's a pretty good first year of trying to win games.
Yeah.
For a group that has 1 goaltender, has no 1 or 2C.
No power play.
They're, sophomore who had a great rookie year, terrible. Some guys haven't really stepped up a ton, like Cam York we were talking about. Mm-hmm. Cole Caulfield at 45 goals for the season.
Oh, we don't want to talk about that.
Just saying. I think it's a fairly decent. They have to finish strong. I would like to see that, but I just think this is it's the big picture. I'm not too down on. That's what I'll say.
I feel like there's a lot of conversation to be had this summer.
Certainly.
About what this season was and if it was good or bad.
All right.
And we'll do that here.
Yeah, we'll do it right here every day this summer at noon or 1. I don't remember. Okay. Still haven't looked into it. All right. Let's read JH's question before I have to trigger overtime. The guys can't do dollar dog night next year. What, do you think the guys ate too many hot dogs? Maybe after the first period, they were all eating hot dogs? Is that the thing? All right. And with that, we got to go to overtime. Go to allphly.com to continue watching. Mellerman's up next. And he said on the show he wanted to do the buzzer, but he knew he couldn't do it like Kelly Hinkle.
Oh, God.
So he didn't do the overtime buzzer.
What a doll.
And now our co-host from Saturday, Mellerman, joins us. He says, it was my fault. Did a breakdown on how dialed in Vladar is and must have jinxed him. Not awful, but third goal is one you'd like to have screened or not. Yeah, I thought the first and third were less than ideal. That said, we said pregame He's put up like an 860 in his previous 4.
Yeah.
That ends. Or, excuse me, a 960.
960, yeah.
Yes, he's put up like a 960 the previous 4 games. That was going to end at some point.
Yeah.
It's not like he gave up 9 tonight.
No.
He didn't get crushed. He just wasn't great. And it's pretty clear, unless he has his A game, this team has very little chance to win.
No, I mean, we talked about it in pregame. This is a very mid team that is in this position because of Dan Vladar and loser points.
He's lost 2-1 6 times this year.
Yeah.
Like,
score some goals.
Maybe score him some goals. All right, but thank you, Mel. I don't think it was on you. I think
emergency
it's the team's
backup host never gets blamed.
The team is not that good is the problem here. All right, this next one is from AV Coppola. Oh, yeah, we haven't heard from Coppola in a while. Have the Flyers ever won a Metro Division game?
Unclear.
There was one, what'd they beat? No, they've won very few. There was a period where they were like 9-1 against the division or something, and they've won like 1 since then. Since about mid-November, they're getting crushed in the division.
Yeah, they've been doing a great job winning games that don't help them make the
Yeah,
playoffs.
they're awesome. If they played against the West 2/3 of their schedule, they'd be in the playoffs and then some. They might win this division.
Which makes
the
sense
problem
because the Western Conference sucks.
Yeah, the West does kind of stink. But like they even beat Colorado and stuff.
That's true. That was a weird one.
They beat Minnesota. Like they're so freaking weird, man. Beat Columbus. All right. Next one is, we have so many. Slapshot 68. So when management said they're willing to make a big trade involving TK potentially, how do we feel now about that? I mean, did they?
Did they say that?
I don't remember hearing that.
Me neither.
Like, I think if he wanted out because he wants to go play for a playoff team.
Maybe.
Or a team was like, hey, here's this can't-miss center prospect who just hasn't cracked our lineup. We're a cup contender. There's no room for him here. We need TK on our team to make a run. Like, yeah, you do that.
Sure.
That's fine.
Very specific
Yeah,
cases,
like there's specific things
Yeah.
that can happen. I just don't see that being like he's their best player. He's their best player by far right now. Skater.
I will say it's very frustrating for the guy being like, man, I just want to play in the playoffs again. Like, where were you tonight, bud? You know this is a game that you need to win.
And again, like 3 goals in the last, team games 12, his game's 9. Maybe he's still playing through it, but we just need more from TK in these situations. All right, K-Red. Toga!
There it is.
All right, Obi-Wan chimes back in. Bill Kelly, how are you?
You know, I'm a little sleepy, but I'm great.
I'm happy we're wrapping up at around 11 instead of like 11:40.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Me too.
All right. What's this? Solarita? Solarita? TK says tired of missing playoffs. They're applying pressure to teams above them, then comes up dry in a big game and says, it is what it is. Losers.
Get out of my brain. That's exactly what I was saying.
didn't actually see his post-game availability, if he actually said that or not.
He said something kind
along
of annoying.
those lines. Yeah.
It's something like, we're not going to win every game. Like, well, you kind of had
and
to.
that's the position. No, you're not. And that's why you needed to not lose every game for the 15 leading up to the break.
Right.
So you didn't have to go 12-0 down the stretch just to have a chance.
Sure, and maybe you don't need to win out, but you could have won this one. This was one that you needed to.
Yeah, you win against the teams directly in your division. That's all. All right. Next one here is JH again. Bill, don't worry about the witches. And Kelly, go watch Iron Man. All right.
A reference.
I guess.
I don't superhero very often, fam. I'm not very cool.
I kept up with the Marvel stuff early.
Yeah.
And I was like,
there's so much
like
of it.
3 a year. I'm not doing
it's
this.
It's a lot.
All right. Next one is from Kate Alt. JH and I are going to pay an Etsy witch to put a spell on this team to get us to the playoffs. It feels like the only way. All right. Well, that would be kind of funny. Do that.
I was going to say, could you film that for content?
Yeah, film that for content for us. I will give you...
That feels like a behind-the-scenes type of video for subscribers only.
$30 for that. DM me or something.
There you go.
Next one is Kevin, 5630. TK Zegras coach did not show up today. Cam York is horrible. Why are we playing prevent defense down 2 goals with 7 minutes left? Bad coach. It didn't feel like an all-out assault of offense in the final half of the third period.
Weren't playing like a team that needed to score 3 goals.
No, absolutely weren't. All right.
And that's weird.
And this is the last one, I believe, from our park. Make it a wah-wah. It's got to have a wah-wah. All right. That is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers postgame. Presented by Bet365. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on the PHLY Sports YouTube page. We'll be back tomorrow. I believe tomorrow's a 4 p.m. show, which is so very rare. So tune in for that. We'll actually get to do one this week. And follow tomorrow. Make sure you tune into that Phillies show. Very first new iteration of the Phillies show. Tune in right here on the PHLY Sports YouTube page. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers and follow the podcast wherever you get those. Just search PHLY Flyers. And go to BroadStreetHockey.com. It's good. Oh. I am Bill Matz. That's Kelly Hinkle. Thank you to Brenna. Be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.